Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapna Dadwal. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Management at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is lecture 10 of organizational behavior. I've already started unit 3. This is the second topic of unit 3. The topic I'm going to cover in this lecture are communication. I'm going to define communication. We are going to discuss characteristics, significance, and process of communication. Then we are going to discuss oral communication, written communication, then barriers, and then how to make communication effective. So I'm starting with definition, that is communication. So the word communication has been derived from a Latin word communis, which means common. So thus communication means sharing of ideas in common. When we communicate, it is said by Wilbur Sherman that communication means sharing of ideas in common. And he says that we are trying to establish a commonness with someone. When we are trying to share our ideas, actually we are trying to establish a commonness with someone. That is, we are trying to share information, an idea, or an attitude. So the essence of communication is getting the receiver and the sender turned together for a particular message. This is said by Wilbur Sherman. So Wilbur Sherman. So these are the Wilbur Sherman's definition of communication. So communication, we can say communication is a process by which message or information is exchanged from a sender to receiver. For example, a production manager may send a message to a sales manager asking for sales forecast for the next 6 months so they can plan production level. The sales manager would then reply to the production manager with appropriate figures. This is an example of communication. Then communication is sum of all things one person does when he wants to create understanding in the mind of another. It involves a systematic and continuous process of telling, listening, and understanding. These are the words of Louis A. Allen. Now, according to Fred G. Meyer, communication is the intercourse by word, letters, or messages, intercourse of thoughts or opinion. It is the act of making one's idea as opinion known to others. So in the words of Keith Davis, communication is the process of passing information and understanding from one person to another. So from all the above definition, we can say communication is the process through which two or more persons come to exchange ideas and understanding among themselves. So communication is a two-way interaction between two parties to transmit information and mutual understanding between the parties. Now, characteristics of the communication. First characteristic is it involves at least two persons. First one is sender and the second one is receiver. The sender is called as communicator, whereas the receiver of the message is known as communicator. The person who writes or issues some instruction or send message is called as sender, and to whom the message is sent is called as receiver or communicates. Now the second characteristic is there must be some message. A message is the subject matter of communication. So it may be written or it may be verbal. So communication must convey some message from sender to receiver. That is from communicator to communicates. Third characteristic is communication may be written or oral or gestural. So communication may be given, spoken, may be sent by sender by spoken words or written words. It may be so it may be gestures also. Then fourth is communication is a two-way process. So it involves both information and understanding. Communication is not complete unless the receiver has understood the message properly and his reaction is response known to the sender. Now fifth characteristic is its primary purpose is to motivate a response. So the primary purpose of communication is to motivate response or influence human behavior. There is no doubt that motivation comes from within, but communicator also motivate people by good drafting message, proper timing of communication, etc. So to create understanding, communication should be relevant to the situation And it must always be remembered that communication is the mean of motivating, not an end itself. Now, next characteristic is communication may be formal or informal. Formal communication follows from the channel provided in the organization structure, whereas informal, it is flows from informal channel of communication, which are not provided in the organizational structures. Now, next character, it flows up, down, also from side to side. So communication flows may flow downward from superior to subordinate, or maybe upward from subordinate to superior, or it may flow between two persons operating at the same level of authority. The next characteristic is it is an integral part of process of exchange. So it refers to the exchange of ideas, feeling, emotions, knowledge and information between two or more persons. Next topic is elements of communication. First is communicator, the sender, speaker, issuer, who's conveying a message. Second element is communicate, or the receiver for whom the communication is meant, that is second element. Third element is message. There must be some message. The message may be written or oral. It may be idea or suggestion. It may be an order. It may be a letter. It may be a speech, or it may be information. So there must be some message. Then communication channel. Then the media by which the information and understanding are passed from sender to the receiver is called as communication channel. So it serves the link between communicator and communicate. Then response or feedback. This is the fifth element. The effect of the communication may be from sender side a reply or reaction or anything. Now the next topic is importance of communication. The first importance or significance of communication is it is a basis of coordination. Whatever manager explain to employees, like organizational goals, achievement, rules, regulations. So it is through communication only. So communication is the basis of coordination between employees and managers, or between different departments in the organization. Then second is fluent working. So fluent working in the organization is possible through effective communication channels in the organization. The coordination or the fluent working is not possible without a proper communication. If communication will not be, or the message will not be passed to the workers or employees on time, or the message is not clear, or communication is not proper, then there will be a chaos in the organization. Then it may hamper the working of the organization. Now third is the basis of decision making. Proper communication provide information to the manager that is useful for decision making. So no decision could be taken in the absence of information. Thus communication is the basis for taking right decision. Now the next importance or significance is communication increases managerial efficiency. So whenever manager conveys the target or issues instruction or allocate jobs to subordinate, it is through communication only. So effective communication increases managerial efficiency in the organization. Then next one is increases cooperation and organizational peace. Yes, the two-way communication process promotes cooperation and mutual understanding among the workers, and also between workers and management. So this is the basis of organizational peace and cooperation. Then it boosts morale of the employees. Good communication always help workers or employees to adjust to the physical and social aspect of work. It also improves their behavior and human relation in the organization. So it boosts the morale of the employees. Now the next topic is communication process. So the communication is a continuous process which mainly involves three elements: sender, message and receiver. The elements involved in the communication process are explained below in detail. The first one is sender. The sender or communicator who generates the message and conveys it to the receiver. He is the source and the one who start the communication. The second one is message. It is the idea, information, it may be view, it may be feeling, it may be fact that is generated by the sender and then intended to be communicated further. Then is encoding. The message generated by the sender is encoded symbolically, such as the form of words, pictures, gestures, etc., before it is being conveyed to the receiver. Then comes media. It is the manner by which encoded message is transmitted. The message may be transmitted orally, writing. The medium of communication may include telephone, internet, post, fax, email, etc. So the choice of medium is generally decided by the sender. Then is decoding. It is the process of converting the symbols encoded by the sender after decoding the message is received by the receiver. Then comes receiver. He is the person who is last in chain and for whom the message was sent by the sender. Once the receiver receives the message and understands it properly, then he gives his response accordingly. Then last one is feedback. Once the receiver confirms to the sender that he has received the message and understood, the process of communication is complete. Then I'm going to discuss the definition of oral communication. Oral communication is the process of conveying or receiving message with the use of spoken words. The mode of communication is highly used across the world because of rapid transmission of information and prompt reply. So, oral communication can either be in the form of direct conversation between two or more persons, like face-to-face communication, lectures, meetings, seminars, group discussion, conferences, etc., or indirect conversation in the form of video call, voice call, conversation, etc. Now comes written communication. The communication in which the message is transmitted in written or printed form is known as written communication. It is the most reliable mode of communication and it is highly preferred in business world because of its formal and sophisticated nature. The various channels of written communications are letters, email, journal, magazine, newspaper, etc. Now comes next topic is type of communication. The first category is formal communication and the second category is informal. So there are two types of communication. Under formal communication, formal communication is of two types, vertical and horizontal communication. So I'm starting with formal communication. Formal communication are the one which flows through the official channel designed in the organizational chart. It may take place between a superior and subordinate, a subordinate and a superior, or among the same level or cadre employees or managers. So these communication can be oral or in writing and are generally recorded and filed in the office. Then formal communication may further be classified into two types, vertical and horizontal. Vertical communication, as the name is suggesting it, flows vertically upward or downward. That is through formal channels. Upward communication refers to flow of communication from subordinate to superior, whereas downward communication flows from superior to subordinate. For example, application of grant of leave, submission of progress report, request for loan, etc. are some of the examples of upward communication. Whereas sending notice to employees to attend meeting, delegating work to the subordinates, etc. are the examples of downward communication. Now comes the second classification, that is horizontal. Second classification of formal communication, that is horizontal. Horizontal or lateral communication take place between one division and another. For example, a production manager may contact the finance manager to discuss the delivery of raw material or its purchase. So this is the example of horizontal communication. Now comes the second main category, second type of communication, second type, that is informal communication. So any communication that take place without following the formal channel of communication is said to be informal communication. The informal communication is often referred to as the grapevine, as it spreads throughout the organization and in all directions without any regard to the level of authority. So the informal communication spread rapidly, often get distorted, and it is very difficult to detect the source of such communication. It also leads to rumors which are not true. People behavior is often affected by rumors and informal discussion which somehow may hamper the work environment. So, however, sometimes these channels may be helpful as they carry information rapidly and therefore may be useful to the manager at times. So, informal channels are also used by the managers to transmit information to in order to know reaction of his or her subordinates. Now, the next topic is barrier to communication. The communication barriers may prevent communication or carry incorrect meaning due to which misunderstanding may be created. Therefore, it is essential for a managers to identify such barriers and take appropriate measures to overcome them. So, barriers to communication in organization can be broadly grouped as follows. The first one is semantic barriers. These are concerned with the problems and obstruction in the process of encoding and decoding of a message into words or impressions. Normally, such barriers result due to use of wrong words, faulty translation, different interpretations, etc. For example, I'm giving you example of semantic barriers. For example, a manager has to communicate with worker who have no knowledge of English language, and the other side he is not well conversant with Hindi language. So here language is a barrier to communication as the manager may not be able to communicate properly with the workers. Now second barrier is psychological barrier. Emotionally or psychological factor also act as a barrier to communication. The state of mind of both sender and receiver of communication reflect in effective communication. A worried person cannot communicate properly and an angry recipient cannot understand the message properly. Thus, at the time of communication, both sender and receiver the sender and receiver need to be psychologically sound and they should trust each other. Now, the third barrier is organizational barrier. The factors related to organizational structures, rules, regulations, authority, relationship, etc. may sometimes act as a barrier to effective communication. So, for example, in an organization with highly centralized pattern, people may not be encouraged to have free communication. Also, rigid rules and regulations they are hurdle to the open communication. Then the last barrier is personal barriers. The personal factors of both sender and receiver may act as a barrier to effective communication. If a superior thinks that particular communication may adversely affect the authority, he may suppress such communication. Also, if the superior do not have confidence in competency of the subordinate, they may not ask for their advice. It is same, the subordinate may not be willing to offer useful suggestion in the absence of any reward appreciation for a good suggestion. Now the next topic is steps to make effective communication. So effective communication is a good business and very essential for the success of an organization. Communication takes place when one person transforms information and understanding to another person. So an effective communication is one which is followed by the receiver of the message and his reaction or response is known to the senders. It is a two-way process. It may not be possible to achieve perfect communication, but it may be minimized with following steps. First is clarity and completeness. So in order to communicate effectively the message, it is very essential to know the audience for whom the message is sent. The message to be conveyed must be absolutely clear in the mind of the communicator, because if he will not understand an idea, he can never express it to someone. So message should be adequate, appropriate for the purpose of communication, and it should be clear, defined. Now second is proper language. To avoid semantic barrier, the message should be expressed in simple, brief and clear language. The words or symbols selected for conveying the message must be appropriate to the reference and understanding of the receiver. Then third is sound organizational structure. To make communication effective, the organizational structure must be sound, appropriate to the need of the organization. Fourth is orientation of employees. The employees should be oriented to understand the objective, rules, policies, authority relationship. It will help to understand each other and minimize conflict and distortion of messages. Then fifth is empathetic listening and avoid premature evaluation. To communicate effectively, one should be good listener. Superiors should develop the habit of patient listening and avoid premature evaluation of communication from their subordinate. This will encourage free flow of upward communication. Then sixth one is motivation and mutual confidence. The message to be communicated should be so designed as to motivate the receiver to influence his behavior to take the desired action. A sense of mutual trust and confidence must be generated to promote free flow of information. Then, consistent behavior to avoid credibility gap, management must ensure that their action and deeds are in accordance with their communication. Then use of grapevine. Grapevine or the formal channel of communication help to improve managerial decisions and make conversation more effective. Thus, formal channel of communication must be supplemented with use of grapevine or informal channels of communication. The last step is feedback. Communication is not complete unless the response or reaction of the receiver of the message is obtained by the communicator. So the effectiveness of communication can be judged from the feedback only. Therefore, feedback must be encouraged and analyzed. This is all for today. This is all for the today for the lecture 10. These are the questions which are related to the above topic. If any query is there, please do contact me. Thank you. Thank you so much.